Hello, everybody. As you can see, I'm working on a brand new piece. I'm working on a husky dog right here. So, gotta work on this one. And I'm gonna put her inside because I'm gonna work on the hair here. So, sorry I'm late with the video. I had other things I had to get done today, so wasn't able to be here first thing in the morning to do my video. As you can hear in the background, there's much more people here, very lively. So I'll try to speak up some so that way you can hear everything I'm saying. So, and as you can see here, I'm just working on the outside hair here. Um, started with this last night with the intention of getting some of these black areas done so that way I could work on it while talking to you guys. And what I want to do right now is I want to work on this hair. So that way, because I know a lot of times when I do my videos, I work on, let's say, here, or just working on the hair, just going up, and just keep working on it. And where it's important for me to get this area done, and it's ideal because I can work on it while talking to you guys, I do understand that in some ways you look at it and go, this is kind of boring, Vaughn. So I'm going to work on the hair here, and I'll try to do that for other areas. So I'll work on the black areas while I'm here at other times. So that way it's more interesting for you guys. So we are with the signed comics of 2025. We are at day 19 through day 25. And the first book we're going to go was posted on Sunday, and that was Batman 400. I have it signed by Paris Collins, Carl Kessel, and Rick Leonardi. I really liked this book when I first got it as a kid because it's actually probably like the first Batman book I got because I was never a huge Batman fan. But when I saw that, I was like, what is this? And I flipped over, and as soon as I flipped it all open and saw all of these Bat villains, and so many of the Bat villains were characters I'd never seen before. Uh, I guess as a kid, it's one of those where it's like, oh, Joker, oh, Penguin, Riddler. But like, who's this? Who's this Catman guy? Oh wow, doesn't he look cool? Um, who is this Doctor Phosphorus? This Calendar Man? I mean, all these different. And again, what was really cool about it is, I think it was Brian Boland did it right at the beginning where all the Bat villains are escaping Arkham, and they're in their prison gear, and they make their way to the forest, and in the forest, like swampland, are all of their costumes. So they change, and there's all like, and all the costumes like hanging from trees. So it was like, oh wow. So they all get dressed, and they're like, half of them are like, we're just going to do our own thing. We're going to get the hell out of here. Then there's the other group that decide they're going to go with Joker, and they're going to raise havoc. And Batman, along with his cast of allies like Robin and Batgirl, along with Commissioner Gordon and Alfred, they have to rile them all up. And I really enjoyed this issue. It was, like I said, it was my first introduction to all these different characters, which honestly did make me more interested in the Bat book. After that, I wouldn't, lots of times didn't buy these, but I at least paid more attention to it. Perfect example, one of the coolest characters that I was introduced to with this was Deadshot. I was like, oh wow, look at this. He's got like mini cannons attached to his forearms, and he just got to pull his thumb back a little as a trigger. The way they originally had it designed, his trigger was in his thumb. So if he pulled his trigger, so if he took his thumb and pulled it in to his hand, it would cause the guns to fire, which I thought was really cool as a kid. And I'm sure, like everybody, I did design my own version of of uh, Deadshot. I think I called him Firepower. Yeah, I know, very original. But I had fun creating them, and I had fun telling my own stories in my head and on paper of him shooting up at the bad guy, at the superheroes that I created. So then on Monday, day 20, was Batman and the Outsiders annual number 1. Now remember, I'm showing you the comics that I got signed that I wanted, that I really enjoyed it. This one has sentimental meaning to me. Um, when I was a kid, my parents were going through a divorce, and my father decided, hey, I want to be a father, but I want to go out and play. How can I get rid of my son for the summer? I know, I'll send him up to summer camp. We live in Pennsylvania. Where was summer camp? Fucking Vermont. So I was up there in hippie hell and not enjoying it. And I got a package in the mail. Or no, I didn't. No, I told my mom I did not like being here. I want to go home. Uh, and she was like, okay, Velvet and I my sister and I will come get you. Or I should say, my dog. Well, it was my sister and my mom. They came up with my dog and they rescued me. Um, when they showed up, my sister gave me, first thing she did, she gave me 2 comic books. One was uh, Blue Devil with a guest star of Zatanna, who I knew Zatanna from the Justice League. So I was like, oh, wow, cool. And the other one was this book, uh, Batman the Outsiders. So this one has great sentimental reasons for me because it was, like I said, my mom, my sister came up and they rescued me from hippie hell. And so this one's always been near and dear to my heart. So having the ability for first Alex Savick to sign it, then Mike Barr to sign it, then Jen Erasma, it was really important for me to have to get at least one signature on that book. So to have 3 signatures on this book is very significant to me. So that's the reason why I have that one included in this listing. Um, Follow that up by Batman Brave and the Bold 197. I didn't buy this one off the rack. I got this one as a back issue. And I got it because I was like, oh, wow, look at it. The reason why I really like this issue was, or I should say the cover, was I kind of knew of the Scarecrow. Merely knew him from the Challenge of the Super Friends cartoon. And so to see him in the comic book was new. But the big thing also was I loved the design element that Joe Staton did, where Batman and Catwoman's capes uh, come to form as a heart, framing up the 2 characters. And this was Earth 2 Batman and Earth 2 Catwoman, which told the story of how they had to team up to defeat the uh, Scarecrow, and at the end of it, they realize that they're in love, and they get married, and of course, they showing the marriage of Batman and Catwoman, which results in the Huntress. Remember, the Huntress was originally designed to be the daughter of Batman and Catwoman. Unlike when they rebooted after Crisis, they had her reintroduced as the daughter from a mob family. And even though they did a great job reinventing her, again, it's I liked the idea of telling us the story of how those two came together, and then had the daughter to who would take on the mantle of the bat as the form of the huntress. Because remember, they always had it where uh, Robin and the huntress were always an item, and in Earth 2. So, which of course we discover they both perish in Crisis of Infinite Earths for Helena to be reimagined with Crisis as you said, the as daughter of a mob family. So, and so that's the reason why having the opportunity of Joe State, and this is one of those books also I thought I'd lost for a long time. Then when I came across it and discovered that Joe Staten did the artwork, it was actually one of the first books I had Joe sign. I think the very first one I had him sign was obviously a Huntress book, but then when I found that book, that was like the next one in line. Like, oh my God, definitely have to have him sign that one. So, and then followed that up with Day 22, Brave and the Bold number 10. Uh, Again, this is of all the Brave and the Bolds that I could have had signed. I wanted this one signed because we have George Perez. I had him sign this one. Had him sign it first, followed by Mark Waid, and then lately, last maybe 3 years, 3 or 4 years, I had Scott Koblish uh, sign it. And the reason why I wanted this one signed is because again, what do I like? I like characters that you don't see a whole lot. And this one had Superman uh, being flung through time, and he teams up with the Silent Knight. And George Sid did some great panel layouts, wanting to illustrate that two characters were on a quest. So he did it in such a manner that there was no like actual panels. I think it was like a tree or something, a mystical tree, and they used like the root system of the tree branches to form the panels that the show uh, Superman and the Silent Knight going through and performing this quest. And I really like the page layout. And then it was followed up with classic Teen Titans when they're still all just like the sidekicks of the superheroes. And this Teen Titans was like their little club, and they team up with Aquaman. So I really liked the issue, and like so because it was like not your main characters, you had other characters you don't really know about. That's the reason why I wanted to have this one signed by George as opposed to the other issues of that run that he worked on. So, and then after that was day 23. Um, yeah, day 23 was Blackest Night number 7. Again, Ivan Riaz, Joe Prado did the artwork, had them sign it. And this was another one where I was like, of all the ones for them to sign, this was like, oh wow, this is the one I wanted to sign because it was different. Why was it different? Well, I forget what the reasoning was, but each DC, there was like a bunch of DC characters had to take on the mantle of the ring bearers of the different spectrum colors. So you had like Lex Luthor was orange, which was a representation of greed. Uh, Adam was there, and he was indigo. The Flash was there. He was blue, representing hope. Uh, you had Miri as the Red Lantern, rage. And then, of course, you had Wonder Woman as purple. And that cover was just so cool. I was like, and the story behind it with all them taking the different rings that normally these characters wouldn't, take all these different Green Lantern characters and give them a power ring, essentially. So all these like, characters had it. So I thought that was really neat, and the reason why I had them sign it. So after that was Brightest Day, Again, Ivan Rios, Joe Prado did the art, did the artwork. This one was part of the uh, Aquaman, and on the cover, of course, was Black Manta. Black Manta. First time I saw him. Oh, hold on here, guys. I gotta clean off this nib. But the first time I saw Black Manta was, of course, Challenge of the Super Friends, like so many. And when I saw him, I was like, "Oh wow, he is so cool!" And I drew him so many times. Uh, and it was so funny because because remember in Challenge of Super Friends, he had a submarine that was shaped like a manta ray, which I thought that was so cool as a kid. And then of course his helmet, which would shoot eye beams. And I drew him so many times, not even considering the fact as a kid how that helmet was so heavy and lopsided, and it didn't matter. It was the coolest thing. It was like one of the coolest helmets I'd ever seen. So I had it. So because I'm such a fan of Black Manta, because of that, of course, I had the opportunity to have him sign that one. Yeah, so I had him sign it. So, and then of course we've got today, day 25, and we get into one of the two books of Marvel that I have signed. Don't have that's all I have, guys. And this was Beware the Planet of the Apes. Was I had it signed by Mark Guggenheim, and here he was at the Heroes Con. He was actually the first person I had sign a book when we got to Heroes Con, and it was right when the show first opened. Had him sign it, and we had talked so much. And the very first book I actually had him sign was a Sinister Six book. And I told him the reason why I was having him sign it because I loved because he was the new universe characters against Squadron Supreme. And I told him up front the reason why is because I loved the new universe characters. So, and I told him how it's like how it was kind of unrealistic because you had it where uh, they fought against Starbrand or an army of Star Brands, and they won. And I go, really? I said that wouldn't have happened. And he flat out said, he goes, if it was any other story, you're absolutely right. But because it was a Sinister Six story, that's the reason why Hyperion was able to defeat them, and the Power Princess. Why those guys were able to defeat them was simply because it was a Sinister Six book and not a New Universe book. So, and I respect him. It's one of those words like, you think about it. He was given a job. He was given a job. He had to uh, come up with a miniseries, and he was given the parameters of what he could do, and he worked within those parameters and told a good story. So I had him sign that one, and I had him sign this one here, issue 3 of Beware the Planet of the Apes. And this comic book, it was based off the original movie series, not based off of the remake that we've been getting. Which I will say, I mean, I have enjoyed every single one of those uh, Planet of the Apes remakes. I'm a big person in visuals, and so I like it because even though when I saw the Planet of the Apes as a kid, didn't really care for all that much because it's one of those where it's like there you can tell it's a rubber mask. It didn't really feel like uh, apes, so that's the reason why I was kind of like, But whereas any in the comic and some of the remakes, they look like apes. So, but this one here was neat because they took the premise of the original series, the original movie series, and they told a good story. And they revealed that there were humans living in secret who could talk on the surface. And I think like their headquarters or where they're based was Yankee Stadium, which again I thought was neat. because they've already, because of the movies, we already know it's Earth. So why not show parts of Earth that there weren't? So I again like that a lot. And of course, another thing also was we've already seen because of the movies that there was apes, there's chimpanzees and orangutans, but there's other types of sapiens. So they utilize that with I think like two, three other types. I know one was a gibbon. So other types of apes shown in the comic book. So I enjoyed it. It was a good story, and so I was like, I'm gonna have Mark sign it. So, but so, but that's all I got. So remember, I only have two. That's the reason why there's more than 7 titles in DC that I showed because I only have 2 Marvel books that are signed. They're in the B's. So I'll be showing the next Marvel book tomorrow, and then after that, I think it's like it's 2 to 4 independents I'll be showing, and then after that we'll be moving on to the C's. So, guys, let me know in the comments which of those books that you like. Do you have any memories or specific points in those comics that you like? Let me know in the comments. Give me a holler. So I'm gonna keep working. Got a lot of work to. This one, believe it or not, I think this one's gonna go relatively quickly because there's so much black in this one. So, like I said, because of working with you guys, showing off I was working here with this. So, what I'll probably do is like tonight. This is a scattering of black and white hair mixed together. So I'll probably work on that part here. And here's a perfect example: is this spot here? It's not straight black because of how the hunts. If you look carefully at like black animals, there are certain spots right above the ear. When the light hits it right, it's not straight black. So what I'm going to be doing in this area is I'm not going to do it now, but I've outlined that area, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a series of line dots and put that in. Then when I hit the black area, if I have to hit it again and again and again to dull it down, I will. But I want that. I want it to be to look at it and be like, oh wow, that's not straight black. It's like a light. It's like a highlight. Same thing. You're going to be over here around the ear. You got another strip here that's going to be like that, and over here behind this ear. So I've got more work to do on this. Like this area here, I'll admit, this whole area right here, it still needs to be finished pencils wise. Same thing with the snout of his nose. You can see where I've just done a loose outline. So, but yeah, I know I got more work to do, but working hard, having fun. So you guys all have fun, and remember, life is stressful. Just take it all one dot at a time.